Welcome to Next Topic Media. My name is Caleb Griffin. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and click that like button. And today we are going to be talking about, in my opinion, the best 5 TV shows that released in 2025. Now I know what you're thinking, Caleb, it's the Big 2-6. Why are we still in 2025? That was so last year. I don't think people are talking about how big of a year 2025 was for TV, because it was insane. And this is coming from a guy who prefers movies over TV shows. It was very hard for me to come up with a top 5 list. This was almost a top 10 list, but I wanted this video to be short. Why am I yapping then? There were shows that I completely forgot came out in 2025 that I loved. Like Daredevil Born Again. I forgot that show came out in 2025. That show's not on this list. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into it with number 5, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Now going into the year, this was my biggest concern. I made a video years back actually about how I thought the Marvel and Disney should scrap this project and make a 3rd season of Spectacular Spider-Man. And obviously I knew that wouldn't happen. I just love Spectacular Spider-Man. And no, this show is not as good as Spectacular Spider-Man, but there aren't a lot of shows that are. Besides the point, this show surprised me in so many ways. The only reason this show is so low is because the animation is so horrible. I understand the style that they were going for. They wanted it to look like a comic book, but it looked like a very bad comic book. It was just not appealing to the eye to look at. But with that being said, the show itself was very good. I didn't think I was going to like what they were doing with Harry Osborn and the direction they went with him. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this plot as a whole, but I really, really did. It was a very good show, a very fun street-level Spider-Man, but with a few added elements as well, like Doctor Strange being in there. I thought the show was very good. It was a very enjoyable watch. And as a huge Spider-Man fan, if you couldn't tell, I was very pleased. Number 4 was All Her Fault. Now, this is a show that my girlfriend actually made me watch. She's actually coming to eat dinner with me, and if she walks in the next 2 minutes, I'll actually let her talk about it. It's a psychological thriller. It's one of those shows that you just kind of see everywhere on streaming platforms these days. They all have multiple shows that fit this category, and I typically hate these types of shows. I am not a high drama psychological thriller, especially on streaming platforms type of guy, because they're all the same. They're all predictable. They all try to be scary and they're not. They all say you're going to be on the edge of your seat, and they make them be like this high thriller crap, and it's just, it never is. And that's at least how I feel about these psychological thriller drama shows, and we had a lot of those in 2025. I mean, we had a bunch of them. This one, however, was incredible. Oh my gosh, he's actually walking in the door. No way. Holy crap, that's huge. She can talk about it with me. All right, now here's the deal. My girlfriend's about to walk in here, and she's going to help me talk about All Her Fault. And you are going to sit there and listen, and you're going to like it. So everybody, this is Lauren. This is when you wave at the camera. So she was the one who made me watch All Her Fault, and I really didn't want to, right?
Yeah.
Now, I was just talking about how I hate this genre of television shows. I think they're all predictable and they're all the same. But this one was very, very different.
Yeah.
That's all you have to say. What did you like about the show?
I liked that after I thought that I knew everything, that there was a plot twist. I thought we already had the plot twist.
Right.
And then there was another plot twist, and it was out of nowhere, and it scared me, and I jumped really hard, but...
She did. I remember.
But it was good.
Most of these shows all have like a plot twist, and they're all so predictable in my opinion, but oh my goodness. I did not see this one coming at all. Also, the acting was like incredible. One of the more underrated, that's root beer by the way. One of the more underrated characters in The Office, in my opinion, is Pete. And I don't know his actor's name off the top of my head. I should have done more research. But he's in this show, and he does an incredible, incredible, incredible job. Louise from Ant-Man, who was one of my favorite MCU characters, is also in this show. He's the detective, and he does an awesome, awesome job. I loved the show so much. There were so many layers, so many like themes within it. One of my favorite shows of 2025 coming out at number 4. Where would you rank it if you were to make a list off the top of your head?
Well, I'd have to list out all of my shows I watched. So
would you put it above Stranger Things?
Maybe just and keep. Yeah, maybe, especially with the finale.
Okay, cool. I'm not
Stranger Things
guy.
as a whole, no. But
Okay.
as in the last season,
As of
Stranger
2025.
Things, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
That's probably my number one show. Like if someone asked me to watch something, I'd tell them they need to watch that.
Number 3, Lazarus. So Lazarus is an anime show that was on HBO Max. Now, I am not the biggest anime guy out there. I am not Caleb Ladd. I am not Peach. I am not The Sandwich, okay? I don't have anime knowledge. It's not a genre that I typically find myself watching any given day. There are a few that I like, though. I like Cowboy Bebop. I like Samurai Champloo. But Lazarus, I really loved. Lazarus was awesome. The action was incredible. Turns out, I actually was informed this by Caleb Peach, The Sandwich Lad, that the action director of John Wick was actually kind of I don't know what he said. He had something to do with this, and it shows because the fighting and the action was absolutely incredible. The plot in this show is basically there's this drug called Hopna that gets mass released and everybody loves it, and then the guy who created it says it's going to kill everybody, and unless they find him, it just will. And it was really, really cool plot. I really, really enjoyed it. If you are an anime fan and you haven't watched it, I would highly suggest it. If you are an anime casual like me and you are looking to watch another one, I would highly suggest it. If you have never watched anime before and you hate it and think it's weird, like other Next Topic Media members, I would highly suggest it. It's a good show. It's a fun watch. Coming in at number 2, this is a season 2 of a show that's already been out, and those are also included. Those are fair game, and that is Severance. Severance quickly became one of my favorite shows. And again, I am not a fan of the psychological thrillers, but this one, again, it was such an intriguing concept that I just really, really got into it. I really like the show. The acting, again, is incredible. Storylines are incredible. I don't know what else to say about it other than that. It's a really cool show. At number 1, one of my favorite shows of all time. Once again, season 1 has been out. Season 2 came out this year. Andor. Oh my goodness. Andor is just an incredible, phenomenal show. As someone who has been very against the creative direction Star Wars has been going and Disney has been taking the franchise, it is so nice to have just a great quality show. And I loved the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. Season 3 was not my favorite. It wasn't bad or anything, but every other Star Wars show they have done since then, I've actually pretty much hated, except for the Siege of Mandalore. The Siege of Mandalore was absolutely phenomenal. That's not 2025 though. This is 2025. Andor season 1. After season 1, it made my top 10 TV shows. Shows with just one season typically don't make top 10 TV show lists for me, but it did because season 1 was absolutely that incredible. Season 2, I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. After the first couple episodes of season 2, I was scared. I was like, oh no, Star Wars has ruined something else for me. They've done it again. They've done what they're good at, and that's ruining dreams. But I stuck with it, and it paid off big time. This season was incredible. We finally see Cassian, who Cassian is in the first season of Andor and who he is in Rogue One is not the same character. And in season 2, we start to see him turn into that character that we see in Rogue One. Again, the Empire is just downright scary, man. One of the biggest, I don't want to say flaws, but one of the biggest things about the original trilogy is that the Empire, they're scary, but not really. Stormtroopers don't really scare you. They're not oppressive to people. They are just kind of there in the background. And then here we see in this show, this is why people hate the Empire. This is why the Empire is so evil and so bad. Luthen's ideology in this show, it doesn't get glorified. It actually gets tested. It just shows the rebels had to do bad things too to get to where they were, and it's awesome. And I think another thing is that unlike a lot of Star Wars content in recent years, it made the audience feel like they're not stupid, I guess. There was no fanfare type cameos. There was not a cameo just to get an applause from the viewers. There was not over-explaining in the dialogue. There was no Star Wars, a lot of shows have just dialogue that becomes memes or things in Star Wars that becomes memes. There was none of that in season 2 or season 1 of Andor, and I loved it. So Andor goes to the #1 spot. Like I said, I am not a big TV show guy. I prefer movies, but 2025 was an incredible year for television and streaming series. There were a lot of shows that were very close to this list. Like I said, I almost made this a top 10 video, and I easily could have, because there were a lot of shows I'd love to talk about from 25. Let me know if you have a top 5 list for this year, what it is, and put that in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all the things. Come back for more content like this, and we'll see you guys in the next one.